Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about the Survivor 42 finale.
Oh, yep, that, exactly. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Nerdtainment. We would love that.
That's right. We got a couple things going on over there.
We do.
I mean, we're wrapping up Survivor 42, so we might as well let you know what's next.
Yeah.
We got Survivor Cagayan.
In progress over there, which is really good. Join us, please.
Please join us at Patreon to watch along with us. And then also for the month of June only, because you know we're light on content for the month of June.
Yeah.
There is a new tier at Patreon. I think I called it the month of fun, something like that. You can't miss it. Go check it out. I'm going to do weekly game nights and Q&As, exclusive not content, but activities for patrons to do for the month of June only. You got to sign up before June 1st. Just letting you know about that.
That's about 6 days, y'all.
Oh my gosh. This finale, this season.
Truly.
This jury. I mean, all of
this
that.
This jury, the
final
whole
three,
thing
everything.
So
good.
Yes. So many twists and turns in this finale. But we are starting with something that is so familiar to us at this point. We see it so often, and it feels like a new element of Survivor that we never want to go away, and that is Jeffra.
Or do we want it to go away? Jeffra starts us off. He loves the finale, y'all. It's finale night. Let's talk it out. A couple people have idols.
Yeah.
We're going to do this. We're going to have 2 challenges. Like, okay, Jeff, thank you. Setting us up. But let's get into
hosting,
it.
Yes. But we go from Jeffra into this new camp, right? This is like a new element of these 2 seasons of Survivor 2, where on the final, stretch here, they go to a new camp and they're like, there's like nothing there. You're like, well, great. We got nothing for these last few days.
Which I'm not really sure why we do this, but we decided to do it last season. So
we're going to do it again.
We're going to do it again. Yeah. And they, of course, are like in the dark going, wait, is this it?
Yeah.
There's nothing here.
So with nothing to look at, nothing to do, Lindsay launches right in. And she's like, why wasn't I part of the plan? Why didn't you tell me, Jonathan? I thought we were in an alliance together. And Jonathan's like, we were, but then you voted for me.
He was like, you voted for me.
And she's like, no. You should have told me.
You didn't tell me about the overvote.
Yeah.
You voted for me.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to wring your neck.
And he's like, I can see you're upset, but you voted for me.
And then he was like, can you stop being aggressive?
Yeah. He likes to say that.
He sure did.
He does. Yeah. And then Romeo's like, well, I just want everyone to know, as long as we're being honest, I have an idol and I'm going to play it. And everyone's like, Romeo, you're still here?
Yeah.
Didn't we vote you out?
David's winner pick.
My winner pick, y'all.
He made it. Yeah. I was like, you know what? Honestly, even though this is such a stretch, Romeo. And then, of course, he shows us, and it's like a bracelet that a kindergartner would make. It is nowhere near looking like an idol.
Yeah.
But when he said it in that moment, it was almost believable,
Yeah.
It almost was.
Well, they were all kind of like, oh, wow, Romeo. Oh, we got an idol, huh? Okay. Well, sure, we'll see.
Okay.
We weren't really planning on voting for you.
They were like, we were going to vote for you all the way up until this time.
And now we all want you there.
Now we will take you along, Romeo.
Yeah, so,
no fear.
Yeah. But Romeo's, this is not the peak for Romeo, you guys. There's more to come.
There's more to come.
So the guys want Lindsay out,
we do hear the soundbite of like,
Strategy.
Lindsay, she's gotta go.
And Marianne's like, no, I want Lindsay there in final 3 with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you?
Well, at this, they're the most friends.
Yeah.
They've got the best relationship.
For sure.
She and Jonathan have been sort of at odds for a while now.
Right.
But we do see Lindsay and Marianne sort of comparing notes on what Mike has promised.
Yeah. Right. Because Marianne's like, no, Lindsay, like, here's the deal. Mike promised me his idol at Final 5, so he's going to use that on me. And Lindsay's like, but Mike promised me a lot of things too, and it really doesn't mean anything. Like, don't take his word for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm, a little bit.
And then Lindsay's getting really upset because she's like very much recognizing like, I am the target. I'm on the outs now. This is the worst part of the game to suddenly find yourself on the outs, right?
Sure is.
And
man, if you had played that Eidolon,
what if? What
different
if?
story, but here we are.
So she's getting really upset. She's starting to cry on the beach, and Mike is like giving her just an epic dad talk, you know, and he's like really trying to comfort her, like, you're not gone yet, all of that kind of stuff. Like, this is why everybody loves Mike this season, you know?
Yeah, true. Asher, thank you for the super
Thank you,
chat.
Asher.
I mean, Marianne hits quite a few buckets. She's a child.
Yeah.
She's a female.
Yes.
She's a woman of color.
Yes.
I mean, she broke lots of barriers.
She did.
She's like smashing that glass ceiling.
Oh, yeah. So happy for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then we get a tree mail.
Okay.
And this is that last little clue, right?
Yes.
For this final advantage for the last immunity or second to last immunity challenge. This is the one that we saw Erica win last season.
They're going to each get an envelope that says, unscramble this, do this little puzzle.
Yeah.
And then go find the advantage.
Right.
Now, Lindsay is already like, oh my God, my head's on the chopping block. I've got to get this.
Yeah.
But she's going to actually unscramble this, I mean, seemingly quickly before anybody else.
Yeah. She kind of like, she's like, I'm good at word puzzles. Like, this is great for me. And she figures it out and she kind of like shoots up like a prairie dog and then she's off, you know, and everybody else is like, well, should we work together to try to figure this out now? Like, it's just the rest of us here, I guess. And, you know, Marianne's kind of sitting there and she's like, I'm not really helping because I want Lindsay to find this advantage. So I'm just kind of sitting here while these big idiots try to figure out this puzzle. Lindsay's everywhere all over the jungle.
Yeah. Now, this got tense because it seems like Lindsay is covering so much ground. And totally
like simultaneously blowing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, this is like an hour.
Yeah.
Or something. Like, it's a long time. But the cutaways to Marianne being like, to just stall and not help these guys get this, to just allow Lindsay the time. Oh my God, I loved it so much.
Me too. And we were so stressed for Lindsay because we're like rooting for Lindsay still in this moment.
At this moment, of course.
And we're like, oh my God, like, find it. Come on, Lindsay, come on. And then they keep doing that thing in the edit where they like trace the giant's foot on the rock and Lindsay's looking at the rock and we're like, that's the rock. And they're tracing the rock and she's still not getting that it's the rock. And then finally she's like, is that rock the giant's foot? And we're like, yes, go. And then they torture us with this edit of her making her way over. It looks like she's moving in slow motion.
It does, because she's been searching for an hour. She's tired.
Yeah.
But the way they built the tension, because I'm assuming that like Jonathan and Mike are gonna like run her over because they've realized that it's a toe.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? As she's sitting at the bottom of it. But she's going to find it.
She does. Thank goodness.
Artie, thank you so much for the super sticker.
Thank you, Artie. We appreciate you.
Yes. So she's gonna get it. And look, I already was not sure that this is going to be a great advantage. I couldn't remember last year it helping, but
it doesn't end up helping her all that much, I don't think.
But it sounded good.
It did, right. Well, she gets back to camp and Marianne is like thrilled. She goes, did you get it?
Did you get it?
And Lindsay's like, I got it.
And she reads it out so everyone knows it's an advantage for the challenge. So let's go. It says day 24.
Yep.
We are playing for immunity plus reward.
And it is that epic, huge like challenge setup. This is like one of the great things about Survivor is these huge builds that they do for these like final challenges where you have to run around, grab these different bags and make your way across like, you know, a different obstacle each time with, you know, each of your bags. So Lindsay's advantage here that she is able to read out is that at each station, or she just says like, I have an advantage. And then Jeff is like, here's what it is. At each station, normally you would have to untie 6 knots per bag. Lindsay only has to do 1. So we're like, huge.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Yes.
She's going to fly. How's she going to get to the puzzle before anybody else?
Oh yeah. She's going to get to that puzzle so fast.
No, I don't think Jonathan had any knots to untie. Where were the knots?
It's like he just ripped the knots off with his fingertips. Like he raced through this so fast. I think Jonathan is also definitely playing for this reward because it's like spaghetti,
Oh yeah,
garlic bread, cake, red wine. And Jonathan's
starving.
like, the calories that I have,
Yes.
exerted over this season. So, but it is like, he is such a specimen. Like, this man will go down in Survivor history as one of the great physical players, even if he didn't win a ton of immunities. But like, his capabilities physically.
Yes, and he carried, I mean, I think he is legitimately starving right now.
Yeah.
And he is depleted. But like that first part, before it was individual, he single-handedly carried
his tribe. I think, the puzzles that have slowed Jonathan down in these immunity challenges. He's literally like the one where you have to go with two, platforms, two like little ladder pieces across. He's like standing as he's moving these around. And Jeff is like, wow, that takes a lot of balance.
Jeff can't stop oohing and awing over Jonathan. He really is like he's like, look at Jonathan.
Yeah.
And honestly, Jonathan was very impressive in this, and he is going to get to that puzzle in the lead, but Lindsay is right behind him. Yeah.
She like drops one of the ladder pieces, which kind of sets her back a little bit. So Jonathan does get there first, but she's right behind, and they're sort of like going, matching each other piece for piece on this puzzle initially. But then Mike gets there, and Mike takes the lead on the puzzle. And then Jonathan all of a sudden hits a block.
Yeah.
And basically stops working on
3 to 4 pieces was his max.
That was his
on
max.
The puzzle.
Yeah.
But I did like that we got, because it was Jonathan and Lindsay on the puzzle, neck to neck. Jeff gave us a lot of like, this whole season has been Jonathan versus Lindsay.
One of the greatest matchups ever.
Yeah. So if you give Jonathan all this credit for being such a physical specimen, I feel like we have to give Lindsay equal credit, because she has like really been right there with Jonathan a lot of these individual
she has been such a beast. It's been such a pleasure to watch her.
But forget about both of them,
because
Mike coming from behind,
he does, and he takes the lead on this puzzle. But I'm noticing that he puts together the edges like you do on a puzzle.
A normal puzzle, you put together the frame of it.
Well, then what he's risking there is inserting those middle pieces. It's going to rock the puzzle, right? And he's in danger of toppling everything as he's putting in these middle pieces. And we do sort of see that happening a lot, where he's like using his whole body to hold the puzzle together as he's trying to, get these middle pieces in place.
Yeah, I wonder if, because those edges, like you see them and you want to put them together. But I wonder if you put them together on the ground, if that would help, or if you just have to do it piece by piece.
Yeah.
Because you really do want to build this bottom top.
You really need,
Because putting those pieces in the middle is just so...
It just sways the whole thing in a not good way.
Right.
But then it's like, Lindsay ends up kind of ending up in a similar spot where she finishes the top first, and she gets just not great for either of them, but they're both so close. They both get to a point where it's 5 pieces left for each of them. And it's like Mike gets a piece, Lindsay gets a piece. It's back and forth, back and forth.
Yep.
Mike wins as Lindsay is putting in her final piece.
It was so close, but from behind.
Oh my goodness.
Mr. New Jersey Mike, he wants the pasta dinner.
That's right.
Give him the meat sauce. He would like it, please. Fred,
thank you.
Thank you for the super chat. What a finale. Thank you so much, Sarah. And David, love your recaps. And we love you.
We love you, Fred. Thank you. So Mike is like bloody knees, blood dripping down his legs. Jeff is like, these are points in New Jersey or whatever it's called. Great. Okay. He's been waiting since season 1. He's watched this show for 21 years. Like, it's a moment.
It is.
Right?
Yes.
So we need to you let him bask in it. And, then Jeff is like, well, who do you want to bring on reward? And Mike gives this big speech about there's one man here.
He's hungry.
He started at 250 and now he's not a pound over 210. And he is so hungry. He hasn't had a meal in a while. My man, Jonathan. And I'm like, we both looked at each other and we're like, not a good move.
I was like, really?
Because here's what then Mike goes, can I get one more? And Jeff's like, no, you may not.
You got the one.
So I'm like, here's what you just did, Mike.
Yep.
You took Jonathan to go eat.
Yep.
And you left the other 3 to talk about how
much
you are fueling Jonathan up for the final immunity challenge. And maybe they all 3 want to get together And vote Jonathan.
Vote a little Jonathan out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought, like, why are you just taking him out of the fight and showing your loyalty to Jonathan? I mean, it was just a clear, like, Jonathan's my bud and I want us to have some dinner together and some vino, you know, which is a choice.
Yeah.
And especially since Mike has an idol and he's now immune, he could just easily be like, I'm playing it for Jonathan. They can come up with any plan they want and we're safe.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be what you're gonna do.
Yeah. So, I mean, when we go back to camp and they go off on their meal, it is like the ultimate love fest. Like, you know, Jonathan's like, there are right ships and wrong ships, but nothing's better than a friendship.
There's no ships like a friendship, he said. Okay. He's really buttering him up because ultimately Jonathan's going to be like, you know what, friend? It would be great if you use that idol.
It would be great if you would give me your word right now.
Yeah, just go ahead right now and just give me your word right now. Yeah. And Mike's face did do a little.
Of course.
He's like, oh, you know, I think you're good. I think you're good. But he does not really.
What I love is that Mike goes, I don't need to swear on this or that or anything. I'm telling you that I will use the idol on you. And I'm like, good deflection there. You know, like, I don't need to do all that. You know me. We're good. I'm going to use my idol on you. But it's like, I can't help but notice that you didn't actually swear on anything there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's saying to us, like, hey, I can use it on anyone I want.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who do you want to use it on?
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
On the other side, we've got Lindsay, and she's like, I am better than Jonathan. He didn't even try to do the puzzle. I am so annoyed that I am the target now.
I'm a better player. And
yeah.
we're like, yes, honey, you are. Right. But you do have to dial it down right now because you're still in the game.
Come up with a strategy.
Yes.
Like, what are you going to do? Right.
What?
And I'm forgetting at this moment that Marianne's idol is a secret.
Right.
Because we have this whole thing, like we've seen it earlier in the episode where Marianne was like, well, Mike's idol is my idol, so he's going to play it on me. And I keep thinking like, well, Marianne's going to play her idol for Lindsay. Why is Lindsay so stressed? Like, why is Lindsay doing so much? Well, it's because she doesn't know Marianne's idol is out there.
No.
So
she does not.
Lindsay's plan is to guilt trip Mike. You're a man of your word.
But before she goes on that guilt trip, and before I go into this, Books and Quirks, thank you so much.
Thank you. Every week.
Sticker.
Thank you.
Love it. But before we see the guilt trip, we have that discussion with Marianne, who's like, he promised me.
Yeah.
Because Lindsay is like, can I get Mike to save me with the idol? He kind of alluded that he would, because he did. He was like, girl, I got you.
Yeah.
But Marianne was like, he promised me. We made a deal. He promised me. And Lindsay's like, well, then who?
Yeah.
If he's promising everyone, who's he going to use it on?
Yeah. Right.
So now she has to guilt trip.
So she's like, okay, let me give this a shot. And so she's there, you know, she's like, your word is worth something, Mike, and I need you to prove it. Like, come on, you said this. And then he starts to say something about this promise to Marianne, and Lindsay's like bulldozing him. And I'm a little bit like, say less. Like, you need to like hear him out a little bit, hear what he's going to say.
Yeah.
But she's just like getting more and more fired up and emotional. I understand. She's like scrambling, clinging on to life in this game. She thinks this idol is her only hope. So she's like trying to say whatever she can to get him to use it on her. But I'm just a little bit like, don't say it that much.
There were moments where she should have let him finish for sure. Yeah. But she is just like swearing her loyalty to him basically. And it's somewhat true. Like she never went against Mike. You know, she was going against Jonathan for quite a bit, but it's not like she was writing Mike's name down. Like she was legitimately working with Mike and was always honest with him that she was going after Jonathan. So she's really just trying to push that. Then we see Mike and Marianne where they're kind of like, you know, who is the more like, who's the person we can beat in the end? Like really let's honestly think about, because Mike's very clearly like, I want to keep Jonathan. And Marianne's like, but do we want to keep Lindsay? Oh my God. Mike says, Jonathan's always been, I don't know, good to me or something like that.
Okay.
And Marianne goes, but I don't like the way he speaks to women.
Yeah.
And Mike goes, but blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you acknowledged it.
Yeah.
But then you were like, I don't really care.
Yeah, I hear you, but I don't care.
I was like, just don't acknowledge. Just be like, oh, I haven't noticed. Then don't. If you acknowledge it, then I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yes.
But that's their thing. And then I think Romeo even has a soundbite of like, we can't beat Lindsay in the end.
If Romeo had a soundbite.
Did you miss your winner pick? Romeo had a soundbite?
Well, I saw he had a soundbite in Tribal, and I made a note. Romeo talks. He's going home. Because every time Romeo talks, I think it means he's going home, right?
He was quite in this edit, and then we find out why.
Why.
He was in this edit, and he does make a point of saying, like, Lindsay's the harder one to beat in the final, so she might not be worth saving at this point.
I think he sort of says something about, like, a fighter, right? And Jeff's like, Lindsay, are you the fighter? And she's like, I think I'm the fighter.
Well, that's a Tribal, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we at Tribal now?
Okay, let's go I thought Tribal. You were skipping ahead to that. Okay, so we're at Tribal. Lindsay's explaining, the puzzle and the advantage and all of that stuff. And she's like, but look, I had too much damage control to do.
Yes.
I'm coming out of this Omer blindside. Yes. I was with Omer. I had voted for Jonathan. I just found myself in a very miserable position, and I had not enough time to clean it up.
Not able to repair it. And I mean, I think once someone's at jury and doesn't get to speak up, you just really dump as much as you. She's like, it was Omer. I was played by Omer.
I got played.
What? Yeah. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was playing everybody.
It was a little bit of that. Autumn.
Thank you, Autumn.
Super chat. Thank you so much for all the recaps and strategy breakdowns. I love y'all.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Now, at the same time as Lindsay's like, Omer, it's all Omer's fault.
Yeah, he got me.
But I understand, like, now I am where I am because of Omer. Mm-hmm. Jonathan's like, but Lindsay's social game. Like, she's saying that Omer did all of this stuff and it was all him. But when Lindsay talks to someone, she connects with them, and he's like really sort of like trying to drive home like, no. Lindsay is really good at this game and she is a threat.
Yeah, don't let her downplay. He's like, let me point out how she's very good at this game. Yeah. He's like, she talks and she makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, numbers?
I don't make
what?
Sense. Yeah.
And then she's like, she puts it together and she's smart, okay?
Yeah.
And no, it's true. Yeah. She is the more rounded player here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mike, we're going to not see votes.
Right.
But we are going to see Mike play his idol.
He is, yeah. He's going to play that idol. And he's like, can you verify this for me? Right? Doesn't he do that first? He's like, can you?
No, that was Cagayan.
Oh, I'm mixing them up. We're watching 2 seasons of Survivor at the same time. Anyway, Mike goes up and he's like, I'm going to play this for someone who's been loyal to me, who's shown me that I can trust them, et cetera, et cetera. And we're wondering, like, is it Marianne or is it Jonathan? And he plays it for Marianne. And I don't know about you. I was like, Marianne, play the idol on Lindsay because I'm still rooting for Lindsay, right?
Of course. We both thought if he plays the idol for Marianne, and she has to wait to see if he does.
Yeah.
But if he does, she then goes, ba-boom, I play this for Lindsay, haha, I'm in control. And she has now
another huge move.
Mike again.
Yeah.
I really thought she was going to do that just for the resume of it all.
Me too.
And then she doesn't. Instead, Romeo's like, I'm going to...
Jeff. And Sarah looked at me like, oh, does he have an idol? I was like, he's throwing away his fake idol.
I thought Marianne gave him her idol
all of a sudden. Interesting.
I was like, what's the strategy behind giving it to Romeo? But then, because I had forgotten about that
all forgot
bracelet he made.
He's like, Jeff, I'm like, my winner pick. And he's like, I will not be playing this because it's a fake idol that I made at camp. And so I will be throwing it in the fire. And it got to the jury and the jury's like,
oh God, Romeo.
What are we watching?
Oh, I was like, you didn't have to remind them because no one voted. Okay. But he did.
He tried.
Yeah.
So then we get to the vote and it's Lindsay, Jonathan, Lindsay. And I thought it might be like more of a back and forth, but everybody voted against Lindsay because I think ultimately Marianne kind of came to her senses and was like, Lindsay's good and I can't beat her.
And I think Marianne and Romeo are going to vote together.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't going to be too split there. Yeah. But so I think that Marianne realized that Lindsay is the harder person to beat in the finals, even though she likes her more.
Right.
And so we didn't get to see a big move with like, I'll save her with an idol. But here we go.
But, as that tribal sort of filing out, I was like, it's good that she did. Like, that would have been a huge move to save Lindsay. And then, like, if that what happened. One vote sends Jonathan to the jury, and it's all because of Marianne, right? Big move, but then that puts a huge target on her for the rest of the game. So I did sort of like walk away being like, ultimately it's better for her to like keep that a total secret.
Yeah.
And then to have something to reveal potentially at a final tribal.
Right.
You know?
Don't put yourself in the, they're going to definitely make me go to fire.
Yeah.
Now they don't want to sit next to me in
Yeah.
the end. So yeah, I get it. Look, I adored Lindsay and rooted for her so much, but she should have saved Omar and she didn't. And that was her losing moment. That was her move.
Yeah.
So
yep.
This is it. She's out.
She's out. So then we just cut right to the final immunity challenge. No back at camp, no nothing. We're going straight to, I wrote balls on the track. Marianne walks in and she's like, Samotion. And I'm like, how do you know the name of that thing?
I said there's a name to it?
Yeah.
We've seen this comp almost every season.
Yes.
And I did not know there was a name to it.
I mean, where was Jeff Pra on that?
Jeff Pra.
Educating us that it's called Samotion.
I mean, I didn't call it balls on track, though, either.
Well, what would you call it?
The rolly thing.
Way better. So much more academic, Sarah. Excuse me.
I would have probably called it like timed rolly thing. You know, we're going to drop it in the time. It's going to roll.
Yeah.
Balls on track. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we get like a little bite from each of them about like their motivation at this stage in the game and what they're playing for. And I would say that Marianne has like clearly the most moving one where she's like,
emotional.
I am playing for, like, she's crying about her family because her family like is, you know, estranged in some way.
Out on the outs.
And she's like, my family is rooting for me. Like my family is united around me, watching me play this game. And Jeff like just drives it home. So you're saying that Survivor could bring your family back? And she's like,
Jeff, you're about to go tears. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an emotional
really sweet
thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people cried. Mike drops his ball.
I'm sure some people cried.
I hear people do that.
Yeah. Not Sarah, though.
No, not David. You were crying.
No, not in that moment.
No, we watched together.
Yeah.
I had my eyes on you. No tears around here. Sorry. No. We have hearts of stone.
Yes, true. Yeah. But Mike.
He's going to just bumble this from the start.
Jeff is like, we're in the warm-up, dude.
Yeah, he's like, what?
One ball.
And Jeff's not going to let things go. You know? He wants to drill it home. How horrible of a show that was.
Yeah, he's like, what happened?
And Mike's like beating himself up. He doesn't need that from you, Jeff.
No.
But yeah, he's like, it was in my hand.
I just I took my eye off the ball for 1 second to move it to the top, and I dropped it. And it really is like, it's all about the like exhaustion and the starvation and all of this stuff. Like they're just not mentally fully there, and their reflexes are off and all these things.
I'm sorry, he just had an Italian feast.
Okay, true. No excuses.
No,
Mike.
None.
No
Sorry.
excuses.
That was just an accident. I mean, it can happen to anyone, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like, that's just harsh.
Well, Jeff, because then Jeff like continues to sort of like call the match as he does, right? This commentator, and he's like, Mike is still in shock that he dropped in the warm up, and he's
like, look at Mike, still over there.
Yeah.
Not in the game.
Yeah.
A lot of that. Paul, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for all the fun recaps. You got it. We're here for
thank
you. And also, Asher, back
again.
at it. The international seasons and rewatches make me miss final 4 and 3 votes. Also, how fast did Prope's wife make him shave his mullet?
It was a pretty good mullet. Pretty good pandemic mullet there, Jeff Probst.
I do love a pandemic.
I mean, I did one myself.
You sure did.
I did.
Who wore it better?
Yeah.
David or Jeff?
So Mike drops in the warm-up.
Yeah.
Then Marianne drops at 2 balls. It is a pretty quick challenge.
It really was.
And then
Jeff says something like, at this rate,
we're
going to get 3 balls.
Because guess where that leaves us? Jonathan versus Romeo, my winner pick.
Okay, winner pick Romeo. There was like a pan in the beginting. And I don't know what, but we both were like, what if Romeo wins this? Like we both did that at the very top of it before it started.
And then when it got to, we were like, what if Romeo wins this?
Romeo could win this? Here we are, and we're watching. Like Jonathan is actually timing them out very well.
Yeah.
Like you can see how perfectly spaced they are. There was one that Romeo dropped, and I was like, nope, too fast.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, Jonathan, his balls
it
too.
looked like he got out of that left-right rhythm, right? That Jeff kept emphasizing. And, Jonathan was like doing a little dance with that, trying to keep that rhythm going. But I feel like I remember seeing him like go over here and then he goes over here. And, he's kind of back and forth, losing track of which shoot he's supposed to be paying attention to. And the ball drops. And Romeo wins the final immunity.
Romeo is immunity winner. Final immunity winner.
Can't take it away from him, folks.
No, you cannot. Here he is.
And he's like, I am Miss Universe.
Yes.
I am Miss America.
Look at my
I am the pageant winner.
Yes.
This is vengeance for every tribal that I have been at the bottom. I've been the backup vote. No more. I won my way to the final 3.
I have power now going forward. I mean, honestly, you gotta be excited about this because
Of course.
poor Romeo, it just went wrong halfway through the game.
It did.
And he has been I don't know, fine, we'll just vote Romeo out.
Yeah.
And that stinks. Who wants to, sleep with that every day? That's your life every day.
Yep. He never really got like a foothold socially in this game, especially post-merge, right? And so he's like, who wants to come talk to me? Marianne, did you want to fan me? Anybody? Well, you tell me. Who wants to talk? Because
he's like, I'm going to park myself right up over here. Come on over anytime you want to chat.
Yeah, so Mike chats with him first. And Mike is sort of telling us, like, I'm clearly the biggest threat. And I basically don't want to make fire against Jonathan. I want to make it against Marianne. So he's pitching to Romeo, like, look, you don't want to be me and Marianne at the final 3 with you. Like, having to compete against both of us, I don't think so. You don't want that. So send us to fire, and I can beat Marianne, and then me and Jonathan with you in the final 3. That's Mike's pitch.
And look, it's a great pitch, and thank you for coming in with a pitch.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. This whole attitude of like, I get it. You're going to make me make fire. Sure.
Yeah.
But here, like, let's do it this way. But when you take a step back and you go, then you want me to sit next to you and Jonathan?
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's the best option for Mr. Romeo.
Because here's the thing, Mike. I'm Romeo and I'm close with Marianne. Marianne's been nice to me. Marianne's voted with me.
First off,
she's included me in plans.
Yes, she has.
So why do I want to sit with the 2 of you at final 3?
These 2 like massive dudes who've done like major moves. I mean, we're still underestimating Marianne at this point. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So, he's going to keep it vague. He's not telling anyone anything. Everyone's practicing fire.
Oh, Jonathan's making fire in seconds in practice.
And we
I'm like, oh my
see
God.
Marianne like coaching him.
Yeah.
And Marianne's like, I don't want to sit next to Mike.
Yeah.
I want to sit next to Jonathan and Romeo.
I will give Jonathan every last pointer I have for making fire. Not that he needs it. He's like killing it. And there's all this, narrative about like, Mike's a firefighter. How good is he at actually making fires? He puts them out, that kind of thing. And the edit is showing him struggling in the practice, But we hear Marianne saying, I want Jonathan and Romeo next to me in the final 3. And that really is best case scenario for her because Mike does kind of rival her in terms of like the case he could make for himself at the end. But I think she could very clearly make herself stand sort of head and shoulders above Jonathan and Romeo. So I'm like, she's thinking very clearly in terms of who she wants. And so she's trying to get Jonathan in that fire making challenge against Mike, and Jonathan wins. That's what she wants.
Yeah. I was surprised to hear her say it, but I can see.
And remember when Mike was like, Jonathan, if Romeo gives you an out from making fire, you got to take it, man. Yeah. You got to take it.
You got to take it.
And I won't blame you.
No, I won't.
Just take it. And Jonathan's like, don't try to get him. What are you doing? I'm hyped to beat you, Mike.
Yeah. I was like, what are you doing, Mike? Like, just like mind games. But yeah, Jonathan's like, no, buddy.
Yeah.
We're going to fire. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
And so, we're going to go to tribal. There wasn't a ton here other than like, let's get to it. Romeo decides to take.
I loved the jury face when they realized Romeo had the immunity necklace. Hai was like, what?
Yeah, there were some reactions. They were like, Am I seeing clearly?
They're like, wait a minute. Is Romeo
Is
winning
this a joke?
Survivor?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, he's my winner pick.
David's winner pick. Here he is. He showed up. Yeah, they like danced around it a little bit, but Romeo's gonna be like,
yeah,
don't take a man, girl.
Yeah. He's like, I'm
These
going
two
with
can
my
mix
gut
fire.
here, and my girl's coming with me.
Yeah.
So it's a decent fire making challenge.
I mean,
They both do a good job.
It's
Mike
not
just
super
does
dramatic.
an amazing job.
Yeah. And now it takes a while to start. Like sometimes
Yeah.
we see like starts and then it's out, and then flames and then it's out.
Yeah.
It takes them both a while to get it going, but once Mike gets his going,
It's an inferno, as Jeff puts it.
it's huge. And the wind kept blowing it to the side, but had there not been wind, I think we would have ended this
game
very
over.
quickly.
Yes.
It's an inferno.
Yeah.
And Jonathan had maybe a small
He did.
campfire.
It was like starting, but he wasn't able to sort of nurture it as well as Mike was able to. And, you know, as soon as Jonathan gets his fire started, Mike's is already high. It was kind of funny
so
seeing
big.
that moment where Jonathan's flag literally got lit on fire because of the wind.
Flag was catching on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I know. Yeah. So it took a while, but Mike's going to win the fire here. And for some reason we talked to Jonathan a little bit longer, but then we can go.
yeah, Jonathan's like, I guess I was meant to lose. And we're like, yep. And then for whatever reason, Jonathan gets to say the tribe has spoken on his way out. I don't know what he did to earn that, but okay, fine.
Mr. Jeff fell in love
truly
with Jonathan.
Yeah.
And so Jonathan got to say it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
It sure did.
But anyway, go to the tribe.
Then we get jury confessionals.
Woo! This jury edit.
Loved it.
I would like it. I want
More
more
of
of
it.
that.
Yes.
Give it to me. I loved it.
Some notable things from this.
Okay.
Omar compares Romeo to a cockroach.
Yeah, not only that, he's gonna bring
He's
it
going to
in.
double down.
He's gonna bring it all. It's the final tribal, and he's gonna call them all
Yeah, right.
because that was a choice. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's nice to get a little bit of insight here into like what the jurors are thinking. I mean, it's all the producers are prompting them to say all of this stuff, you know, but it's fun to hear like Drea say like, you know, I want Marianne to sway me. Like I want these people to fight, you know, and it's just kind of fun to get that one last little bit from each of our jury
It
members.
is because even though the producer is like, okay, so tell me what each person needs to win. So we're going to hear positives from each of them. It is fun to hear like Mike was a snake.
Yeah.
And he preached, I'm a man of my word.
Yeah.
And so to hear the jury be like, I need him to own it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff we want to hear because that's what we see play out. We see a lot of people who play loyal games, but not really loyal.
Right.
They get held to a different standard.
Yes, because you weren't that loyal.
Right. So, but the people who never preached loyalty, they don't get grilled about all their lies because people just expect it and it's no big deal.
Right.
So, you know,
this is a game of deception, you know, so you
is.
kind of have to own it. And it's just nice to get these previews because we're like, okay, is Mike going to own it in this jury presentation, right? In the Q&A.
And I honestly didn't think he was going to, and I thought that was going to be his downfall.
Yeah.
But let's get into it. We're going to go to the final tribal here. Omar's going to go ahead and just call them all roaches.
All cockroaches.
I was like, no, I did not.
But Mike, starting out, he's like, I was honorable.
Yeah.
I kept to my word. And I'm like, oh boy, this is not what
Mike,
they want to hear, Mike.
Don't do it. Because obviously you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're a man of your word outside of the game, probably.
Yeah.
But not in the game.
Yeah.
We get right back to High versus Romeo.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, stop it.
I know. And it's like
Get
kind of
along.
like bickering. It's like, well, I was aggressive with you because you were aggressive with me first.
Right. You lied at me and then I lied at you. It's like, oh,
God,
Lord.
let it go. Just be friends.
It's like, this is final tribal.
Yeah. And then we do get Mike getting even more frustrated because the jury's starting to call him out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're saying like, so Mike, you actually weren't that honest.
Right.
It turns out you lied. You're claiming that you only lied to Rockstory, but like,
Just
what
the
about
one?
Right. And he's like, well, listen. I was honest unless you lied to me first.
Oh, there's a caveat to your loyalty.
Got it.
Okay. Like they really had to work it out of him and it's coming out in this sort of like, okay, yeah. I mean, I did lie to you, but you lied to me first. And like, that sounds petty.
And she's like, So Lindsay's like, but so Mike, what you're saying is that nobody else was allowed to play Survivor and like talk to other people and tell mistruths and all these things. Like, you're holding all of us to the standard that you're holding yourself to. That doesn't seem very fair, does it?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
But they do kind of say like, hey, Mike, your social game was great. Like, we are giving you the credit. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But like, we need you to own these lies. Like, was this your strategy?
Right. And Drea's like, everybody chill. We all lied.
We did.
Okay. We did. So yes, I know you're trying to get Mike to like own up to the lies here, but like relax. We were all liars. So like, don't hold it against Mike that he was a liar, you know?
No. And I think Mike eventually gets it, because he does sort of kind of circle around and be like, okay, what I'm hearing is I wasn't as much of a man of my word as I thought I was. And I was very happy to hear him come around. And I thought that might have gotten him some votes.
Me too.
That might have.
Because finally it's like, okay, yeah, I did lie. And I had to lie because if I didn't, I wouldn't be sitting here. And that is the point. That is the whole thing about Survivor. Right. Your lies get you to a chair in the final three.
Absolutely.
You know?
The CAC 16.
Thank you, the CAC 16.
Thank you for the super sticker.
Appreciate you. Now, Marianne is kind of getting negged a lot throughout this final tribal, I find. It's like when you're telling them, like, you actually suck at this game, right? They're like giving them negative feedback kind of a thing, right?
Well, they were like, what did you do?
I mean, Omer's like, so at Taku, I think your social game put you on the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, we found you so annoying and unlikable and sort of insufferable and tough to be around. And Drea's like, I slept next to you for so long and I have no idea what you did in the game. So she's really on defense for a lot of this and having to very assertively finally, you know, say, this was my game and I'm owning it and I did this on purpose, because she's saying I couldn't be assertive before because I saw what happened to young people who were assertive. Zach, Swathi, Tori, Lydia, all of them gone because they were seen as strategic threats. So I was unstrategic on purpose.
Yes. She did the right thing of saying, like, I had to not be smart. Had to not look like I'm playing the game. I had to downplay that.
Yeah.
But she answered, I thought, all of the questions really well.
She did.
Every time they came to her with like, we don't really know what you did, she was like, let me tell you a couple things. And this is what I did. And it really and we all were waiting for it because we knew she had that idol that she never played. And she just nailed this moment.
She really did. Is this where she says, she's like, Omer, like, this was the moment for me when I got you out at final 6, where she starts to like trace that move and like how that launched her on the path to the final 3.
Yes, because she hadn't sort of mentioned it earlier of like, I took Omer out. And Jonathan was like, no, I'm not going to let you take credit for that because we had already talked about it. And I was like, sir?
Yeah.
You and your anti-women stance is killing me, because yes, y'all all talked about it, but she's the one who made the move.
Yeah.
Jonathan and Mike backed out of it.
Yeah.
So don't give me.
And she tried to talk you back into it and you wouldn't listen to her.
Like, you're not going to give her credit for a move that she made. Yeah. Just because you were in the conversation.
You didn't
with
vote
her.
For him.
You did not. You were not a part of it.
You can't claim it.
I was very annoyed and I was like, if they don't circle back to this.
Yeah.
But she did. She was like, let me tell you my big move. She was like, once I took you out, Omer, she lined it up.
Yeah.
Every single one of these people was now bringing me to the end.
Yeah.
Mike made a promise with me. And she was like, and even if they didn't, let me show you this thing that I had here that not a one of you knew about.
She's like, this was the only secret in this game, was this idol that I found. Here's the idol. Here's the note. None of you knew about it. And the jury's faces are like, whoa. Yep. Okay, Marianne did do something.
Yeah.
They're fight. So like finally dawning on them, like, oh God, we got to take this woman seriously, because she very clearly lays out how she made it from final 6 to final 5 to final 4, which guaranteed her social game, you know, with where she'd set herself up at that point, guaranteed her a spot in the final 3. which is exactly what happened because Romeo won immunity and took her to the final 3. And she's like, everybody was going to take me. Everyone. Either I was going to win immunity and win my way here, or everybody was going to take me.
Yeah.
And that's my social game.
She spelled it out beautifully. She amped it up with that idol.
Yeah.
And you could just see it in the jury's faces that she had hooked them.
Now, my winner pick, Romeo.
Uh-huh.
He's been, he's in it, I'll say, more than a lot of like third place no vote people are in it, in a part of the conversation. There have been times where we see someone get like 2 sound bites in a final tribal, and they kind of regularly circle back to Romeo, but it's just all about like, my game was about self-preservation. I had no physical assets. I didn't even know how to swim before I came out here.
Yeah.
And, the jury's kind of giving him kudos and props and like, good for you, Romeo. And then he does get a great emotional moment at the end where he's like, I didn't choose to play from the bottom. It's just what happened to me. And like, that's not how I wanted to play this game.
No.
But you know what? Now I'm free. And shout out to you, Hi, because you like gave me that. And, they have their moment. I'm like, yeah, you're sisters again.
Yes, I was like, be friends again. Stop fighting. Yeah, he did have this beautiful moment. It was nice to have because, no one wants to play from the bottom.
No.
He didn't love where he was, and he just did the best that he could. And I mean, like, I think at this point he knows he's not winning the game.
I mean, thank God he won that final immunity. I think just for himself, like.
And he kind of said, "Look, I have that.
Yeah.
I'm taking that with me.
I'm good
forever." Asher, you're still here.
Thank you, Asher.
So much. Wasn't it iconic?
Yes, so good.
She nailed it.
But then, God, this Marianne, she just knows a good little. She's got a way with words. She knows a good soundbite. She's like, I am proud of myself for not playing the idol on Lindsay because I really was starting to like self-sabotage towards the end of the game. She talks about things that have happened in her personal life. She pushes people away.
Who's spreading rumors about Marianne?
Yeah, who did that?
I would like a name. We're coming for you.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
Please continue.
But she's like, listen, I, push people away so that they can't hurt me it's just a lot of like emotional stuff. And she's like, but I finally realized that I couldn't play the idol on Lindsay, even though I really wanted to, and it felt like a safe move for me to do that. I needed to take a chance to lose because I deserved a chance to win.
What?
Chills.
Who is this
Chills.
woman?
Yes.
Who is this woman child? She's so young. She's so good with her words. I was like, this is relatable, but like also very like beautiful and poetic.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm just noticing in the edit that Marianne's getting the last word on these last few questions. She's kind of getting the like, boom moment.
She's getting the mic drop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then cut to like High's crying.
Yeah.
Like the whole jury is like,
oh, yeah. They're like, oh, we feel that, Marianne.
Like, we feel you.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, she just wrapped this up in a gorgeous little bow.
Yeah.
Let's go vote.
Let's vote.
After Marianne says like that, let's go.
Yeah. Chanel writes an M, and I said to Sarah, what if we see them all write an M?
No, first you said R.
Oh, yeah. I was like, who's going to write an R?
No.
Who is going to have the courage to vote for Romeo? My winner pick.
David's winner pick. No, we only see the one M.
Yeah.
But then they show us this funny moment where Jonathan's like,
is Jeff going to read the votes here? And Lindsay's like, oh, I thought you were serious. You jokester.
And Jeff's like, okay, what if I read the votes here? He's like, guess what? We shoot these back to back.
Yeah, he's like, one more twist. Everyone's like, what? And I swear to God, I expected Jeff to look into camera and be like, we film these back to back. And these people have no idea.
He didn't. He saved it. He saved us from that. And he spoke to the jury.
Yeah.
But he's like, we did this last season. We're going to do it again. We're going to do these votes right now. We're going to have our reunion right here.
Yeah.
I'm going to feed y'all in just a minute.
Yeah.
The jury is like, elated, and the 3 finalists are like, what?
No. Marianne's like, well, good luck, guys.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Romeo's like, well, I don't even vote, so fine. Oh boy.
So then Jeff starts to count the votes, and he goes, Romeo, Romeo, Romeo.
I'm sorry. Did you change shows? No. We get one mic vote one Marianne vote. Now this is normal because at this point, honestly, I thought it was close.
Yeah.
I thought Mike did a great job
I
turning
did
things
too.
around, but
Yes.
I know that Marianne did a great job. And I was like, I think we'll get a few for each.
Yeah.
No, we got one for Mike, one for Marianne, and then they were all Marianne. Like if you
All
don't
of
ever
them.
come back to a Mike, that's
Yeah,
it. That's all she wrote.
That's it. 7-1, Marianne. And
Wow.
Jeff does reveal, you know, when we get into the jury or into the like post show of it all, he's like, the rest of them were Marianne. Y'all all voted for Marianne. And what was so interesting is that he's like, who was undecided coming into this? And like 5 people.
Yeah, I mean, one of them was Jonathan, and no, thank you. I don't think so. But I'm pretty sure Jonathan is the only vote for Mike. I did not check that because we went live before it was all over. So if someone has different information, please let us know.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming Jonathan was dead set on voting Mike.
I would think so.
But I also kind of thought Roxroy would vote Mike.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think, I mean, if y'all know in the chat, like, let us know who was the vote for Mike. I think it was Jonathan. K-Diggs too.
Yes.
Queen Marianne.
All hail Queen Marianne, first Kenyan Canadian woman to win. How fun.
I mean, the reactions from the jury on her win. I mean, she's like burying her face in her hands. She can hardly believe it. She had this like huge uphill battle to fight and she won. She conquered this game. And like the jury's just like, I feel like they all have this soft spot for her. And like Chanel's crying. They're just all so happy for her. And it's such a huge celebration. She's just like young, woman of color, all those things that you rattled off at the beginning. Like,
it's so fascinating to see her win. Sheena293.
Thank you
for the super chat. Ranking previous winners is very, very, very hard for me.
Yeah.
But what I love about Marianne is that she legit had a resume.
Yeah.
And people didn't see that. They underestimated her and didn't realize that she could scoop in.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't realize she could scoop in.
No.
I wasn't taking her super seriously.
Yeah. She had a really under the radar game and she kept it low key. That's how she managed to kind of like make it all the way to final 3 without ever really being perceived as a threat. And then she got to say, but you should have. And here's why. And it was a really convincing case that she made.
Yeah. Whoops.
What happened to that comment there?
Autumn
again.
Oh,
actually, that's not a hard question.
It's not.
It's Reed.
It's still right.
It's still Reed. Yeah.
But now we can just add in.
Romeo might be.
Winner pick Romeo.
Yeah, winner pick Romeo.
We'll throw that in every once in a while.
Yes.
I just love that Marianne is someone that you can root for, that people didn't see coming from behind, but that she did actually make moves that you could really look at and notice, and there's no question, you know, about that. It stinks when someone wins and people are like, but what did they do?
Yeah.
You know, she definitely has some moves that we can talk about. No, I want to go back to the jury because I was surprised that so many people came in undecided. Usually, you know, but I think they were like sort of wavering, like, well, Mike did this, but Marianne, like what, and they were open. And I just feel like this jury overall was just really good. And we knew that they were not bitter.
Yeah.
Their exits were so fun.
Oh my goodness.
Like they get the game. And so I'm not surprised that this whole final tribal went so well.
Yeah, they were so open-minded and respectful during, you know, the Q&A. But I think like part of the reason that a lot of them came in undecided is because like the really big flashy players who were running the game were on the jury. You know, like Omer and Lindsay were like running this for so long. Both of them are there. Drea was playing super hard and had so many advantages and, you know, played an idol to save herself at a really pivotal moment. Hai was like really taking charge in camp for a lot of the game. That's what, you know, got him on the jury. So they're, I think, coming into this being like, well, we all kind of ran it and they just ended up here. All 3 of them, really. Like we all love Mike and like, you know, Marianne, we are sort of charmed by, but maybe a little bit annoyed by too. And Romeo like, wah. But I think they just weren't really sold on the 3 of them whatsoever. So they were kind of like, whoever can convince us that they played the best game of these 3 will make them the winner, you know?
Right. Yeah. Well, I loved it. I think this whole season went really, really well.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of repeats from last season. that even, some things that we didn't love from last season, but it worked in this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some new things, some editing things that I really enjoyed, production value, just like it was beautiful to watch.
But really for me, it was the cast of this season that made it such a joy to watch. And like those exits, like you said, it just is like wonderful to see people just so happy to like have had the chance to play the game and not to take it super personally and all of that. So
yeah. Ellen, it is unusual for a woman to win in the US, but also congrats to you, Ellen, who won our patron draft
winner, because you had Marianne on your team.
Marianne was on your team and you pulled out the win tonight.
Yeah.
I came in second. Thank you very much. Yeah. Because I had Lindsay on my team and she got me some good points.
Yeah.
But we couldn't pull it out. Ellen for the win.
Yes. I mean, I love seeing, back-to-back women of color winning this game. It's the first two seasons where this mandate has been in effect for 50% casts of color and all of these things. But like, I think this is true, but I think the previous woman winner was Sarah on like Second Chances or Game Changers or whatever it was that she won. I think she was the last female winner until Erica and Marianne,
which was 1,000 years
ago. It's been 84 years. Yeah.
Since we saw a lady take it.
Yes.
It's not super, super common over here. Oh, Asher, what twists do you want to die? You put the word die in there because you want me to say do or die.
I would also say shot in the dark can go.
Shot in the dark can go.
Yeah.
Do or die can go. And your fake merge can go.
Yeah, fake merge can go. I don't like the hourglass.
No.
Just I would love like maybe like a back to basics kind of a season, Because we kind of did that with Big Brother a little bit.
Right.
And loved it.
I don't mind all the idols. I don't mind idol nullifiers. I don't mind extra votes. When you have all of that stuff in there, it makes people really have to like work at figuring out their strategy for voting. So I don't mind that.
The advantage of it is like after a certain point of not switching things up, people figure out how to win the game. But I kind of think we're at a similar moment with Survivor where it's like, that you have to like be under the radar until the end game and all that stuff. So like, what can they do to shake that up? I think part of that was like this fire making challenge in the finale was meant to like, kind of mix that up. But I don't know. To me, Survivor does a really good job generally. I agree with you. Like some of those twists can go, but like none of those twists ruined these seasons for me by any means.
No. No, I'm much more twist friendly. They don't really bother me that much, but you gave them a shot. 41 and 42, you shot back to back, so great. We have the same thing, whatever, but we don't need to do them again.
No,
we don't.
New ones.
Lindsay was it's not really my winner pick,
but you didn't pick a winner preseason.
I don't do
you
winners.
Famously refused.
Yeah, famous,
and I famously scrolled through my phone and was like, the gay one, Romeo.
Yeah. Well, he made it to final 3 and my girl Lindsay did not. So you win out of that.
Yeah.
How about that? Australian Survivor is 84 years long. Those seasons are way too long. But ours are usually longer than this. This is just a COVID short season. We should be back. 43 should be back to 39 days.
You think?
It should be. I'm saying it should. I don't have an answer on that. Like, why would they keep it shorter?
Production costs.
You're Survivor. You have the money. Although I don't know. They gave them 1 cake and 4 cookies.
Yeah.
Like, they might be low on funds.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's tough these days for those shows to give away $1 million. Like, that doesn't happen anymore on reality shows.
Yeah, that's true. Well, then give them less money.
How dare you?
We'll put the budget
with inflation
in
the way it is. You want to cut the prize money? Wow, real capitalist over here.
If they will put it back in the show and give me 39 days. 26 is not awful, but 39 is better. Let's be real. 39 was better.
Yeah.
Like 26, it went by too fast.
Yeah.
Like when we were like 3 episodes down to go, I was like, how did we get here?
I know. Yeah.
How are we almost done? like just got into the season.
Yeah.
Oh no. Why are we keeping it 26?
I don't know.
Jeff, get it together.
Jeff likes those 26-day seasons.
It's more time for him to speak to camera, I guess.
Yeah.
He's like, hey guys, what's fun is
Let's wrap this up in under a month, okay?
26 days. I
Yeah.
gotta go take a vacation. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, y'all are amazing.
Yeah.
You guys who hung out with us all season long, we love you. We appreciate it.
We really do. And for those of you who are joining us later, please leave us a comment. You guys are so generous with your comments these days, and we love hearing what you think about the winner, Marianne.
Yay!
You know, this like last sequence of events with Lindsay going and the advantage. And just let us know all of your thoughts about this incredible finale, an incredible season, great cast. And thank you so much for joining us all season long.
Let us know how you're feeling about all of this final. I would love to just have another couple seasons without returnees or themes.
Yeah.
Like give us a couple, just some seasons here.
Sure.
And then we can start trickling in.
Yeah.
Have another game changers, another you know, something.
Listen, we
like
just
that.
had the winners at war, so we're like,
we're
I think
good.
we can do without.
We're good on returnees right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Reminder, we've got fun stuff over at Patreon. Come join us for Cagayan or our month of fun over there. Otherwise, we'll see you when Big Brother comes around.
Yes, we'll see you then.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Wait, I'm not ready. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.